Hello everyone. Today is day 0 of giving up sugar. Most of you probably don't know this about me, but I have a serious addiction to sugar. I eat it every day. Sometimes I eat it raw, like literally sugar cubes or spoonfuls of sugar or etc. I have an inordinate amount of it every week and I need to stop. And today is the day that I start that journey. And I'm going to take you guys along with me. You are officially enlisted as my watchers, I guess. You can join me if you like. That's totally up to you. But today is the day that I give it up. And I don't want to ever go back to how I was. Eating it every day is just not okay, especially in the amounts that I was eating it every day. Let's have a little history tour of how it started and why it started. I remember being like 5 and sneaking sugar underneath the table. We had like one of those sugar dispensers. I'll put a picture if I can find it. But they basically were like a salt shaker, and it had like a little plastic piece that would pull out and then I would pour sugar. I would eat out of those and my mom would always be able to tell because it would be gross and like the sugar would be all stuck to the rim, like really gross, like really. I know that it's gross now, but at the time I was like, whatever, I'm just eating sugar. That's probably the earliest I remember really being obsessed with sugar. 5 or 6 years old, eating it under the table. I think I used it as a coping mechanism for my emotions, because from what my family has described to me, we were in a very abusive family. I think I used it as a way to kind of cope with it. Not 100% sure. I mean, I don't see those memories. Like, it's not like I can just play them back like a movie. They're gone, it's over, and all I have are the stories and whatever little snippets that I remember here and there. I remember also the first time I gave up sugar was for Lent. Probably I was like 10. So it was in that time frame that I gave up sugar for the first time, and I gave it up for Lent. And it was really hard because I still had all my Valentine's candy and I had it all in a drawer in my dresser, and I would look at it every day but I wouldn't eat it. I gave it up for Lent. Literally, I used Lent as an excuse. I knew I needed to give up sugar. I needed to give up candy. Lent was an easy way to do that. It was an easy excuse, and I was kind of getting into being religious at that time, at that age. I think that was the year that I got baptized, or right after I got baptized, so I was all like, I'm religious. Then I started eating a lot of sugar again, and for the rest of my life, I just always have a lot of sugar. High school, I drank some Monsters and stuff for like choir tours and stuff, like when I was out and about and I was like cheating and stuff, and me and my friends would drink Monster during the summer. When I was working at Office Depot, I started drinking Rockstars every day because I needed the energy to get through work because I was working at Starbucks. I gave up sugar that year that I started working at Starbucks because I remember when I started, I was refusing to eat any of the snacks that they had laid out. You know how Starbucks has lots of like lemon cakes and raspberry swirl cakes and scones and all this delicious sugary stuff. I would say, no, I can't eat that. I'm on Lent. Because again, pretending to be religious even though I'm not. Anyway, gave up sugar. And then as soon as I stopped giving it up, I was eating it all the time. Because when you worked at Starbucks, you got a 30% discount, and I was working 2 jobs, so I had plenty of extra money, so I would eat a lot of Starbucks treats, Rockstars, lattes, frappuccinos, you name it. I was drinking it and eating it, and it was sugary, and it was definitely a lot of sugar. At this time, I was also living on my own for the first time, and every weekend, or any time I had an actual day off, because this is when I worked 2 jobs, anytime I had a day off, I would go to the dollar store, get 2 to 3 boxes of candy, a soda, and a bag of chips. And I would eat it all in one day. So you can imagine the amount of sugar I was consuming on a single day. A soda, 2 to 3 boxes of candy, and a freaking bag of chips, okay? There's a problem with that, and there was a reason why I was fat back then. Come on. Not that it's that much better now, but I definitely do not do it nearly as much as I did back then. That probably was when I was at my worst. I tried giving it up one other time, but then I would have it in the house, and if I had it where I could easily get it, I would break. That brings us to when I watched Fed Up, which is a documentary about the food industry in America, and I realized how sugar is in literally everything. Cereal, spaghetti sauce, ketchup, pickles, you name it, sugar is in it. Look at the label and look at the added sugars, and I crap you not, almost everything you buy has added sugar in it. Go to the grocery store, try to buy 5 things that don't have added sugar in it that aren't fresh produce. I'm just saying, there's sugar in literally everything, and it's really crazy. So then I watched, last year, I believe, a documentary by an Australian who decided to eat every day the amount of sugar that the average Australian eats every day. So for a month, he ate 40 grams of sugar a day. And I have to tell you, I probably eat more than that, or have been, will not again, but he ate 40 grams of sugar a day. 1, he got crazy mood swings. 2, he gained weight. And 3, he became lethargic because, you know, when you're crashing and burning your blood sugar levels over and over throughout the day, it's not good for you. And what was crazy is he only consumed the sugar through quote unquote healthy foods. Anyway, that's besides the point. At that point, I realized, man, I really got to do something about the sugar problem, but instead I just shoved down those feelings and piled on the sugar into my mouth. Okay, put a lot of sugar in my mouth. Then I went to the dentist, and the dentist said, Michelle, your teeth are bad. You got to do something about this. I had a crazy toothache because one of my teeth was literally falling apart. So I stopped having as much candy, not to say that I took out sugar, but I stopped having as much candy. Then after I got a few teeth fixed, I was like, it's fine, and I started like piling in on the sugar again. I was a trainer for a while, and because I didn't have a whole lot of free time, I was not eating very much while I was working, and then outside of work I was eating quite a bit, and a lot of it was sugar, and I went to the dollar store and got sugar almost every day. That's when I tried to quit, started again. I didn't put any kind of boundaries. I was like, I don't need to be strict with myself. Let me just tell you, anytime I've said I don't need to be strict with myself, that's when I get nothing done. Nothing done. So I'm one of those people that needs to have strict rules in order to get stuff done. Otherwise I'm like, I'll just go with the flow, and then no. It doesn't work for me, at least not with these kind of things. I watched a video probably a couple months ago where a guy quit sugar, he and his wife quit sugar for 30 days, and it looked really terrible for them, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do it. I'm just gonna become a literal B word. And it's gonna be really hard because sugar's in everything, and I just made it up to be this like terribly difficult, almost impossible thing. And so yeah, didn't do it. So here I am. Today, watched a video by one of my favorite YouTubers. She lost not a whole lot of weight per se. She lost 15-20 pounds over 6 months. However, she lost almost 30 pounds of just fat and gained muscle. You know how that goes, kind of fluctuate your weight. She said the biggest thing that helped her lose the fat was giving up sugar. And I don't know why I needed her inspiration, probably because she has a similar addiction to sugar as I do. The way she described it sounds very similar to my addiction to sugar. I just said, screw it, I'm gonna give up sugar, and it's gonna be crazy, and it's probably gonna be really hard, and I'm probably gonna be having some mental breakdowns, guys, so just be prepared for that. You probably won't see them. I'll try to film them if they happen, but I'm giving up sugar. I'm giving it up. I'm gonna try to track it for 30 days and kind of show you the process as I go through it, because if you're anything like me, sugar is very hard to give up. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into getting rid of sugar. Yeah, getting rid of it, okay? No more sugar. No more sugar. Can't do it. Not doing it anymore. It's no. Alright, thanks so much for watching. See you guys later. Bye.